So procrastination is extremely common and harmless, right? Well, what if I told you that $473 million are overpaid every year in taxes just because of procrastination? In 2002, a study done by the Muse proved this to be true. I know every single one of you is guilty of procrastinating, and I know this probably isn't the best speech that you want to hear the last couple weeks of your high school career, but it's actually a lot more easy to face if you understand how it works. And I know I don't necessarily need to establish credibility because I'm a high school student like yourself, so obviously I procrastinate. But to put this into better perspective, I've known about this speech for about a month and a half, and I started it about 30 hours ago. So today I'm going to be teaching you a little bit about the causes and effects of procrastination, as well as some tips from professional psychologists about how to kick your habit of procrastinating. Random House Dictionary defines procrastination as being the act of habit or procrastinating or putting off or delaying, especially something requiring immediate attention. And a psychologist who has been called the quote-unquote professor of procrastination is famous for a lot of his speeches, and he writes books and speeches on procrastination. And he defines procrastination as being the gap between intention and action. I watched a TED Talk done by Tim Urban, and it was done at TED 2016 conference in Vancouver. And he had a really good analogy, I think, of, well, his speech was called Inside the Mind of a Procrastinator. And from his point of view, this is a non-procrastinator or irrational decision maker. And the only thing that separates the procrastinators from the non-procrastinators is the instant gratification monkey. And so you can kind of imagine like a little monkey going around in your head, and pretty much what he's saying is the only reason we procrastinate is because we want instant gratification, and that's the only thing that keeps us from completing our long-term goals or procrastinating. So, also, the causes of procrastination. There was an article on psychology.com that's called the Procrastination, 10 Things You Need to Know. And a lot of these things are like common knowledge, but what really stood out to me was number 3. And it stated that procrastinators aren't necessarily bad at managing time, but what makes them procrastinators is that they actually are super optimistic about what they can squeeze, or their ability to squeeze a ton of tasks in a small amount of time. So it's not necessarily that they can't manage it, it's that they believe that they can do more than they can or can't. I don't know. But anyways, that's a little bit about the causes of procrastination. Now to get to some of the effects. Procrastination actually can affect our health, believe it or not. There's a book called Personality and Individual Differences, which is published in 2003. And psychologists claim that procrastinators are way more likely to get headaches, way more likely to get stomach aches, and even more likely to become ill. The effects of procrastination regarding our well-being, these are a lot more obvious, like you feel guilt, you feel shameful, and you feel just bad about yourself because you can't, like, you're just mad at yourself for not doing something earlier. And Tim Pitchell, which I shortly mentioned earlier, who is the professor of procrastination, he actually has a famous speech that's called Helping Students with Procrastination. And in this, he coins the term secondhand procrastination. And to explain this, I thought I would give a short story. And so one time, I was borrowing a book from my good friend Kelsey Corrigan, and the assignment was due on Sunday evening. And I borrowed her book from her because I didn't get one. And I was supposed to give it back to her Saturday, and of course I didn't remember that until Friday night, because I remembered that I had something due, and that at the time I wasn't even home, so I was like, oh shoot, I don't know where the book is, and so I was like freaking out. And to even make my procrastination even worse, I texted her and I told her I was going to be in Wichita the next day, so I couldn't get it back to her. So then I wanted to save myself more time, get home, find the book so I could do my assignment and get it back to her. And I forgot that she had me on Find Friends, So she saw that I wasn't in Wichita and that I was lying to her. And so moral of the story is that secondhand procrastination is that it doesn't just affect you, it affects people around you as well. And so not only do you have to pay the consequence, but so do other people. Okay, so those are some of the effects of procrastination. And now I will get into some tips on how to help you in your procrastination habits. Sadly, there's not a instant fix, and you have to understand that it's a habit, and to change a habit, you have to practice. In a book called Solving the Procrastination Puzzle, which was written by Timothy Mitchell, he explains that sometimes procrastinators have an expectation to settle. So I think all of you, like when you get an assignment, do you all agree that like when you get it, you have expectations of what you want to get, and everyone is like, okay, I know I'm going to work on it, I'm going to start like this week, even though it's still like 2 months. But when time comes around, we're like, oh, it could have been worse, or like it's just a C, like I'll be fine. And so we're kind of making excuses to settle. And so pretty much what he's saying is whatever goal you set for yourself, you just have to keep looking at that instead of just like being like, what is whatever. And so procrastination is a habit, as I said earlier, and just like any other habit, you have to practice, in this case, self-control to get over the habit. And the best way to do this is to focus on small things every day rather than big things to set yourself up for failure. For example, if I told myself, I'm not a smoker, but if I was, and I told myself I'm going to quit smoking, lose 50 pounds next month, write a letter to my grandma twice a week, like that's a lot to do, but I'm just kind of setting myself up for failure and setting myself up to procrastinate with all those goals. So pretty much it's small things, and you have to grow off of that to grow your self-control. So there are some of the tips on how to control it, and I've now gone over the causes and effects, and also some tips from psychologists and professionals on how to help manage your procrastination. I challenge every one of you to, like I said earlier, just work on it on a day-to-day basis rather than getting overwhelmed, and I mean, it's probably not very helpful because you guys only have a couple weeks of senior year and all you want to do is procrastinate, but just do the best you can, and if not, just hold it off until next year. Thank you.